Straight Guy Queer Eye. I'm your host, Paul Yen. I have COVID. Yeah, I managed to not get it for the entirety of the pandemic, and then last week I got it. So if I sound nasally, please forgive me. It's been a really cool week, everybody. I wasn't sure what to expect. I originally didn't even want to start the podcast, let alone the YouTube channel. But in the last week, we've gotten some really, really cool feedback from people who've reached out in the comments. It's been great. I thought, if I can start this and if it can reach out to even one person, the old cliche, but it has reached out to many of you, and I appreciate it very much. Thank you. Now, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, do so right here. Turn on that notification bell and hit the like button somewhere over here. And if you're planning to leave, hit the like button right before you go. Thank you. All right, corrections from last week. We had a subscriber reach out and let me know that I screwed up. I said that Mariah was a professional ballroom dancer. In fact, she's not. She is a ballroom performer. She performs in the ballroom circuit. And if you don't know what the ballroom circuit is, it's a space or a subculture that was started by Black, queer, and trans folks to be able to dance, to do runway walks, to model, to express themselves in any way they want. And it's a really cool thing to be able to witness. If you haven't already, I recommend watching Paris is Burning to learn a little bit more about it. In fact, I probably need to brush up on it and rewatch it because it's been quite a few years. We always start off the episode with an important ethics statement. If you are listening to the show and you are queer or you're a part of the LGBTQ community, please understand that you are loved, you are admired, you are appreciated for your bravery, your courage, and most of all, for being who you are. And if you ever feel otherwise, please know that there's at least one person out there who is rooting for you. Actually, my wife is rooting for you too, so 2 people. And our dog, so 3 people are rooting for you always. It's important also to acknowledge that I understand that being straight gives me privileges that the queer community does not get. I will never fully understand the trauma, the drama, and all of the homophobic garbage that queer folks deal with on a day-to-day basis. I am also not an expert in queer culture. I'm not a therapist, a psychiatrist, a psychologist, or a doctor. What I am is a person who grew up with queer family and friends who have shaped my life and continue to shape my life in really positive ways. And as the host of the Straight Guy Queer Eye podcast, I'm here to share those experiences as well as introduce people to queer themed shows that I love in the hopes that they can impact you as much as they have me. More importantly, I'm here to listen and to learn and to pass that knowledge on to like-minded people who want to make a difference for the queer community in their own community and especially in their own lives. Okay, so this week we're doing something a little different because of the COVID. I didn't really want to deal with writing too much, so I saw this article on BuzzFeed a few weeks back. I think it's been almost a month now. But it was an article written by Brian Galindo from BuzzFeed. The title of the article is 15 Things About Straight Men That Really, Really, Really Confuse Gay Men. And I don't normally read BuzzFeed articles. I don't even know if they're articles, but I thought this was really interesting to me. And so I saved it for a rainy day or a COVID day. Anyway, the point of the article is that Brian stumbled upon a Reddit thread from a few years back that tackled an interesting topic, things gay men don't get about straight men. I guess it was started off when a user named Fatstock asked, quote, "Gay men of Reddit, what's something about straight men that doesn't make sense to you?" The thread got a lot of responses, and in this article are the top and most often repeated things about straight men that don't make sense to gay men, as well as some responses to those comments from straight men. And I thought it would just be interesting to kind of go over this. So number 1, I really don't understand the, quote, "I hate my wife" trope. And they had a response from a straight person, quote, "I've worked with some older generations and most of them treat it the same way. They'll sit there and complain about their wife and being married. I'm recently married and I've had several older dudes try to joke with me about it. Like, no, I actually love and enjoy my wife. I agree. In defense of the older guys, the person here says that they were recently married, so maybe they're still in the honeymoon phase. But overall, I agree. I don't go around bashing being married. I don't bash my wife. I don't fall into the whole the old ball and chain stuff. I enjoy being with my wife. We have a good time. We get along. We're both we always joke that we have the sensibility and the humor of a 5-year-old or 5-year-old boys. We just get along, man. We've been married for 7 years, and we've been together for even longer than that. And we get along. We always talk about how time has kind of flown by, and I think part of it is because we're both really easygoing. A majority of the problems that come up are me, and my own ego gets in the way. But I've learned as I got older that when you're not in the right space to talk about something, to step away, think about it, and then come back. And I can honestly admit that 99% of the time, it's my fault. And I think for a lot of men, they can't get, out of their own way. So then that causes tension. And then, of course, I'm not saying that men are always the problem, because there are women who have egos too. And then so if you've got two people with egos who don't want to ever apologize or don't ever admit being wrong or don't ever want to compromise, then yeah, it's gonna become very negative. And then if it becomes negative over time, there's resentment built, right? And sure, if that's the case, then you're gonna not want to be around your wife, or you're gonna want to not want to be around your husband, and you're gonna be resentful of them, and you're gonna talk down on them or hate spending time with them. And when you have a release mechanism, which is being at work or being with your friends, you're gonna kind of go off. So yeah, I agree. I don't understand it either. I get along with Maggie just fine. Another part of it too, I think, is that a lot of people get married because, and not everybody, let's be clear about that, not everybody, but I think a lot of people get married because that's just the next step, right? They're not sure they want to, or maybe they don't even want to, but they do it because of social pressures, familial pressures, pressure from their friends, whoever, and so they just do it, even if they don't want to, and ultimately they end up being miserable. So yeah, I don't look down on people who aren't married. I don't look down on people who don't want to get married, and I don't ever want to force that on anybody. Maggie and I originally didn't want to get married, but eventually we came to want to, and we did it in our own way, and it's still special and still going strong to this day. So I agree with number one. All right, number two, my male family members make fun of me for taking skincare seriously. Bro, you don't want nice skin? And then there was a response. More of a case of extreme laziness for me, more than not wanting nice skin. I'll put lotion on when I get particularly itchy, though. However, my wife keeps trying to sand the calluses off my feet and hands, and that's something I don't understand. I worked hard for those. Okay, I disagree with the straight dude about the calluses and the hands and feet thing. My wife does not touch my calluses or on my feet or my hands. I rock climb, so I have a lot of calluses, so I wouldn't expect that of her. But I do agree with the supposedly gay person asking the question. I take care of my skin. My wife tells me I have nice skin. I didn't always. When we first met and she told me that I had nice skin, I just thought, okay, skin is skin to me. It all looks the same. It all looks the same to me. But then she asked me what was my skincare routine. And I said, what do you mean skincare routine? She asked, what do you wash your face with? And I said, bar soap, whatever is there, whether it's a bar of Zest or Irish Spring or Dove or whatever it is. And so she stopped that immediately. She wasn't mean about it or anything like that. She just recommended better products for me. And since then, I've made more of an effort to have a skincare routine. I wash my face in the morning. I put on sunblock. I put on face moisturizer. Yeah, and sometimes I put on this vitamin C serum thing. And then at night, I wash my face and I What do? I put on night cream, and sometimes I'll put on eye cream. I'm actually really lazy about that part of it, and so she'll do it for me when I ask. But yeah, I think it's important for you to take care of your skin, especially for me because I'm an actor. But in general, you just want to have nice, smooth skin. I still, honestly, it all still looks the same to me unless you have really ashy skin or something, or obviously if you have issues with pimples or whatever. But otherwise, all skin kind of looks the same to me, so I'm kind of just doing it to future proof. I don't know. Okay, on to number 3. How certain things make you gay or less manly. Yeah, I get a lot of that in the straight world from my straight friends. Here's a response from a straight person. One of my goals in life is to dress well enough that people think I'm gay. Okay, well, I guess it doesn't just pertain to dressing up, but in regards to dressing up or getting, dressed and dressing nicely, yeah, I agree. I like to dress nice. I like to wear nice shirts, nice jeans, nice boots, nice shoes, nice sneakers. I like to look nice when I go out. It's just, it makes me feel better. It makes me feel confident. I like to impress my wife. I like to impress my friends. And it's not about caring what other people think, but it's about making yourself feel good, making yourself feel confident in order to seize the day or whatever you want to say. And I'm also down to dress down. I rock climb. I'm a rock climber. I can go out in sandals, shorts, and a ripped up t-shirt, or beat up cargo pants, or cargo jeans. I don't even think that's a thing, but corduroy pants and whatever. It doesn't matter. I can dress down. I can dress up. I love dressing up. I love dressing down. It just depends on the mood of the day. You know what I mean? But when you see someone dress nice and to say that's gay, that's just stupid. But other things as well, I guess. I don't know what makes something gay. There's no real answer to that. I consider myself, a man's man, I guess. I don't know. Not that it matters. I go rock climbing, but if you don't like rock climbing, it doesn't make you gay. It just makes you not like rock climbing. I have friends who are super quote unquote alpha. They think they're super alpha, and they're always saying super alpha stupid stuff. And because I've known them for so long, they're still my friends, but they're afraid of heights and they don't ever want to go rock climbing with me. Does that make them gay? No, it just makes them afraid of heights. And so I try to help them get over their fear of heights by inviting them. Or for some people who are afraid of heights and do come, does that make them suddenly more manly than my friend who doesn't want to go? No. All of that is arbitrary, man. All of that stuff is just made up by society or by alpha males or alpha females or people just who are not confident in their own masculinity, that they have to put down other people, is what I think. Number 4, why being gay is seen as the butt of jokes a lot of the time. Even people who claim they're not homophobic still tend to lean on, ha ha, you're gay and that's funny, as a go-to joke or insult. What's the punchline? Why is it seen as funny or insulting to be gay or considered gay by straight people who claim they have no problem with gay people? I must be missing something clearly. Yeah, I don't use the term gay to describe things in a negative context or to describe things negatively. I used to when I was younger, and I mentioned this in a previous podcast, but when my friend John came out, my then girlfriend pointed out that I should stop using it because it could be offensive to my friend John. And I stopped using it. And that was when I was 18. So that was well over 20 something years ago. And it's not a problem. I don't see why it's a big deal. But yeah, I got into a debate one time with a guy who was a friend of mine. And I had done something, or he didn't like something I did. And he said, "Oh, that's gay." And I immediately said, why does that have to be gay? Why do you have to be homophobic? And he said, "Oh, I'm not homophobic." And we got into this spout or this debate about it. And essentially he said that he was just using it kind of as a throwaway. And I was saying, yeah, to you it's a throwaway. But what that means to me is that the negative connotation that has been put on the gay community has pervaded or now kind of come into the lexicon of words as negativity, but it still reflects on the gay community, because that in turn means that being gay is negative in some way or another. And he didn't see it that way because he said that he doesn't view it that way. But it doesn't matter. If you look in totality when people say it, a lot of people are, I wish I could articulate this better, but a lot of people basically are saying, oh, if you're not doing that, you're not being normal. Normal in this sense being straight. You're being gay, right? So if you're being gay, that's considered not normal, and it's a negative. And so we kind of agreed to disagree, but I agree with this person asking that. There's nothing funny about that to me. I don't use it. I don't think people should use it. And if you want to say that you're being too politically correct, I also had a comment this week where somebody said you're being too politically correct, or stop being politically correct. For some things, sure. But for this, no, I'm gonna argue this till the day I die, because it's not being politically correct. It's being evolving with the times, right? Because at some point in history, it should have been all of history, but the N-word was used to describe black people. It was never cool, never should have been cool, but because societally it was accepted by racists back then, eventually it stopped. People weren't being it didn't stop completely. What I mean is that it stopped being okay for people to use it. People still do, of course, but that doesn't mean they were being politically correct. That means people realized that that just wasn't a term that should have been used. It's outdated. It's racist. And because the term politically correct wasn't used during that time, it was just called, oh, you're correcting yourself, or I don't know what the term would be. There wasn't a specific term for it, but it was wrong and people stopped using it, or were supposed to stop using it. But now, because of, political reasons, people say, oh, you're being politically correct. And usually it's used by the right because they don't want to, or they want to resist change. So they say, oh, stop being politically correct. No, just stop using it. Stop being lazy, be more creative, evolve with the times. Stop using it because it makes a group of people feel bad about themselves. And especially an oppressed group, a minority group of people who are a vulnerable group of people. It puts down a vulnerable group of people. And so I don't want that. And this is a community and a group of people that I love. So I'm going to stop using it. And I have stopped using it for a very long time. And if I hear you using it, I'm going to call you out. That's it. It's not being politically correct. It's being human and learning to adapt with the times. Okay, number 5. I wasn't planning for this to get so serious. I didn't think it was that kind of, because it's BuzzFeed. I have no idea what BuzzFeed is, but I guess it triggers me. Number 5, the absolute hatred for tiny dogs. I swear to God, it's still a dog, man, just smaller. Showing affection or walking a small animal does not make you gay. I guess this kind of links back to the whole thing about how certain things make you gay or less manly. Yeah, I don't think having a small dog makes you gay. I actually think this is two separate things. I don't have a hatred for tiny dogs. I don't like certain dogs because they bark a lot, like Chihuahuas. Don't come at me, Chihuahua lovers. They're just not my favorite dogs. I don't think there's anything wrong with owning a tiny dog. It's fine. I actually admire people with small dogs because the amount of poo they have to pick up is so much smaller. Soda Pop, our dog, is a Labrador, and his poos are huge. Not even Kanan, I don't even know what they are. Great Danes, I can't imagine their poos. But little dogs, when I go out with my friends who have small dogs and they pick up poo, it's so easy. We got to talking about poo for some reason. And then the other thing is showing affection or walking a small animal does not make you gay. Yeah. Okay, that was easy. All right, number 6. A lot of straight men think gay guys want to have sex with every male they encounter. Do they feel that way around females? So they just assume we do as well? As a gay male, I just assume any other man I'm around probably isn't gay. So my thoughts never even go there. Maybe that's not an issue with females because the odds are more in their favor or something. And then the response to it is, yeah, I've never understood that assumption either. I don't want to have sex with every woman I see, so why should your sexual preference make it any different? It's just dumb and low-key homophobic. Yeah, bro, relax. Not everybody wants to have sex with you. I know you think everybody wants to have sex with you, but not everybody wants to have sex with you. Just because they're gay and you're a dude doesn't mean they want to have sex with you. If they hit on you, good on you. That's flattering. Take it as a compliment. You still got it. You got it from both sexes. Or if you get hit on by a trans person, you get hit on by binary people, you get hit on by whoever. Take it as a compliment. Now, if you've taken it as a compliment and you turn them down and they're still hitting on you, they're not doing it because they're gay. They're doing it because they're an asshole and they're harassing you, or they're doing it because they're an asshole and they're harassing you. They're sexually harassing you. But that happens with straight people too. So the only difference is their sexual preference. So get over it. I've gone to gay clubs, I've gone to gay bars, I've been surrounded by gay people. I don't get hit on at parties. I've been hit on at clubs, and I tell them, hey, I'm flattered, but I'm straight. And they're really sweet about it. Oftentimes, they want to know what I'm doing at the gay club, or they'll say sorry, or then we'll end up having a conversation, and it's okay. It's not going to turn you gay, man. There's this whole weird thing in straight man world too, or homophobic straight man world, where they think that, oh, if someone hits on them, they're gonna turn gay, or they can't. It's, bro, be comfortable in your own masculinity. If you're not gay, that's fine. They don't know. They might not know that, and they might think you're handsome. They might think you're hot, or they might think you're cute. Take it as a compliment. Tell them you're straight. You're good. Now, if they continue to harass you, that's different. But yeah, get over yourselves. Okay, number 7. I've had so many straight men try to get me to fool around with them that I believe if we didn't make such a big deal about sex, more men would be at least bi. Having said that, just because I am gay does not mean I want to fool around with every guy I see. That's the same as number 6. I won't even consider sex until a few dates in. Oh, they try to get them to fool around with them. Yeah, no, I've never tried to get a gay person to fool around with me because I'm not gay. But if you do, then good on you. Cool. Yeah, maybe you're bi. Be open to it, accept it, and move on. It's not a big deal. Experiment, and if you don't like it, you don't like it. Or if it's not for you, it's not for you. It's not a big deal. I have a funny story, actually. I won't mention their name, but my cousins have this friend who is ultra alpha male. I'm talking about ultra. I didn't like this guy from the first day I met him just because he's super alpha. He's super arrogant. He's full of himself. All this stuff. He rides motorcycles, or rode motorcycles with us. He's a stunt guy. And I didn't get a good vibe from him. He was always nice to me, but he's just super arrogant. And on top of that, he's like a mad Trump supporter too. But anyways, recently, my cousins told me that this dude was on cocaine or something, and then he ended up going down on some other dude, and then the dude went down on him. And then for whatever reason, he told my cousin about it, and my cousin said, cool, man. But then the guy that I don't like says, but I'm not gay. That's cool, man. But the point of it is, I don't really know the point I'm telling you this, but this is somebody who acts ultra alpha, talking about he thinks he's the alpha of the alphaists of the alphas. And I think a lot of times when you're that alpha, when you go around broadcasting that you're ultra alpha, you might be secretly gay. And that's okay. It's the fact that they're trying to hide it, or that they're trying to treat others as less than because they're not alpha. Just stop being so alpha, man. I don't care that you went down on some dude. I don't care if you might be gay. I don't care if you're bi. Just stop being alpha. It's not a thing. I mean, some people it's a thing, but more often than not, you're hiding something. All right, number 8. What's the obsession with buying trucks? And then the response is, if you live in a rural area, there's so much shit you could do with trucks. And tailgating in the bed with a boombox and some beers by the river is pretty fucking nice. Want to go camping? Throw a camper shell on that bitch. Also, truck bed sex under the stars is nice. Sounds nice. Yeah. I mean, nothing wrong with buying trucks. I like trucks. I don't own a truck. If you buy a truck because you're in construction, or if you use it for heavy duty stuff, or if you're constantly moving shit around and you need the truck, sure. Or even if like this response right here, it doesn't have to be in a rural area. If you're doing shit in your truck all the time, you're tailgating or, taking it out and having beers and on the river and having sex in it, whatever, great. Yeah, I don't get the obsession with trucks when you use it like it's a car. You're wasting gas. It's not practical half the time because it doesn't, fit as many people. And then you're constantly having to help people move shit. So my cousins that I mentioned earlier, they're off-roaders, so they use their trucks and they use their SUVs and stuff for off-roading. So yeah, that's fine. But yeah, I see more often than not, I see these trucks with these huge, impractical lifts that you couldn't take off-roading. And to me, it just says you're compensating for something. So I agree. I agree with most of the stuff this Reddit feed is asking. I've never been on Reddit, so I don't really even understand what it is. Wearing sunscreen. I offer people sunscreen when I'm going to be outside with them for more than an hour. A surprising number of people turn it down. Like, man, it's free. You're not too tough to get skin cancer, and you're sure as shit not stronger than the sun. Yeah. I mean, the whole free thing, I don't think people like, man, it's free. I mean, I don't think people should take it because it's free, but I think people should take it because they want to take care of their skin and not try to get skin cancer. But if you think wearing sunscreen is gay, get help. Wear sunscreen. I have friends who reapply. I don't reapply, although I know I should, and I'm going to start reapplying. And the people who've told me this are women. And that's why women, look good for a long time and beautiful for a long time. That's why men look the way men do. And I don't want to look the way men always look. I don't want to be rough and tough and with rough and ugly skin. So yeah, I'm going to start reapplying. You should too. Number 10, I don't understand why straight men don't want gay men around. Gay men aren't after women. Good point. So the more there are, the less actual competition there is for the straight girls. I love having gay men around. Some of my closest friends are gay men. They're just people. That's all there is to it. So I don't have an issue with it. I have a wife, so I'm not worried about anybody, taking other women from me. But yeah, they're fun people. Ooh, my bad. Somebody responded to that. They wrote, one reason may be that a lot of straight men think that every gay man will hit on them. There it is again. I'm straight and have been hit on once by a gay man in 30 years, and I considered it very flattering. See? Also, the gay men I know are pretty particular. Yeah, we all have different tastes. We all have different needs and feelings for different types of people. Not every dude is going to want to hit on you, man. Stop with the homophobia. It's silly. Okay, number 11. Why do they have to assert their masculinity every second with literally everybody? It must suck wanting to be silly and have some fun and be reminded all the time that you have to be an epic alpha male. There's the alpha male thing. I know it's not every straight man, but still. Yeah, I mean, I don't encounter it too much because I don't tend to go to places that would have people like that. Maybe at the gym. Like I said, when I see guys like that, it's a red flag for me in terms of just wanting to stay away from them because they have big egos. They have mother issues. They have issues with themselves or whatever. Maybe they need to be in therapy or I avoid them because they're not fun to be around, and why be around it? You know what I mean? That's why I'd rather be around gay men or men who are confident in themselves because they're more fun to be around. They don't take things too seriously. If they're surrounded by gay men who are having fun, they're having fun, we're just all having fun. And the reason why we're having fun is because we're comfortable with ourselves and we're able to have fun. Whereas I feel like these alpha males who are always, trying to assert their masculinity and their alpha status, they're not comfortable with themselves. So they feel like they need to compensate for it. So then they show this alpha male guy that it's all bullshit, man. It's all bullshit. I know there are a lot of alpha male streamers out there or whatever, or YouTubers out there. It's all silly, man. I don't watch that garbage, or I've seen it and I just laugh at it. All right, number 12. Not every straight man, but their contempt for women. They mansplain to them, troll their socials, criticize their looks, downplay, or even oppose their views despite their validity, and they feel like you are owed sex just because she is nice or dresses sexy. And to always associate girly stuff with weakness. That's the, I don't know, sunblock, I guess, and calling things gay. Toxic masculinity is just so exhausting. I agree. Men live shorter lives not because women stress them out, but because of toxic masculinity. Yeah. I mean, the contempt for women, I don't understand. It's, again, mommy issues, maybe daddy issues. If you're wrong, you're wrong. Just be humble. Have some dignity. If you're wrong, admit it. Don't try to mansplain things. Try to listen. I'm not the best listener, but I try. And I'm not patting myself on the back by any means because I do need to improve on that a lot. But I don't downplay or oppose views if they're valid. If they're valid, they're valid. Facts are facts, right? And nobody owes you sex for anything. If someone says no, no means no. My wife showed me that a long time ago. Like, she was taught, like, if somebody's like trying to approach you and try to harass you or try to have sex with you or rape you or whatever, you say no means no. Anyway, yeah, man, just be humble. You're not right on everything. You're never going to be right on everything. In fact, I would argue that you're probably wrong a lot of the times. And even if you are right, learn some humility. You know what I mean? There I go with the ums. I know I probably said a lot. A lot of you dug the counter. Anyways, have humility. And as far as toxic masculinity goes, yeah. I mean, this is anecdotal, but sure. When the more toxic masculinity that you exude, the more you feel the need to prove shit, and the more likely you are to get into fights and to get into car accidents or to I don't know what. But not that I'm innocent of all this. I'm a dude, so I constantly am fighting, the urge to be like toxic, I guess. The urge to show off or to prove that I'm a man or whatever. It's a work in progress because socially you're raised to think that you need to be this way. I've just been able to kind of set my ego aside for the most part and recognize when that feeling or that urge comes up, and I try to squash it as much as I can. I'm not perfect, but it's all about knowing when you fuck up, admitting to it, apologizing for it, and learning from it. A lot of these alpha toxic masculine dudes don't know. They don't think they need to apologize for anything. I'm generalizing a bit here, but I'm just basing it off that one dude that I know. Yeah, it is stressful and it is exhausting, and that's why I don't want to be around them ever. Number 13, I think we're near the end here. We have 15 of them. Okay, so number 13. I may be late to the party on this thread, but it's my understanding that many straight men don't wash their asses, because they think touching down there is gay. That many guys just let the water run down and hope that it does what needs to be done. Seriously? If so, that's way gross. And just what do you think your sexual partners are encountering when they're down in that neck of the woods? Okay, that's fucking disgusting. If you just let water run down your ass, grow up, man. That is so alpha. That's so alpha male. That's silly. Wash your ass, people. I wasn't expecting this show today to be talking about washing your ass, but wash your ass. It won't make you gay, I promise you. And if you touch down there and you turn gay, you are already gay. Wash your stinky asses. Yeah, man. That's the dumbest thing. That's like people who don't use bidets, or people who think using a bidet is gay. It doesn't make you gay, dude. I use a bidet. Life-changing. Highly recommended. Wash your asses. That's disgusting. What if, your partner wants to go down there? You're gonna subject them to dirty ass? Don't do it. Be respectful. Be considerate. It won't turn you gay. That's the dumbest thing I've never heard. You know what? I've heard something similar. In high school, I had these friends who, it's a good thing, they're not my friends anymore, but I remember we were talking about something and the subject of showering came up. And I think I said something like, oh yeah, when I wash my feet, and they were blown away. They said, you wash your feet? I said, yeah, I wash my feet. And they said, like you reach down there and, lather it with soap and scrub it? I said, yeah. I said, why? You don't? And they said, no. When I rinse up here with soap and the water washes down to my feet, it washes my feet. And I said, no. Soapy water running over your feet doesn't scrub off the stank, bro. And they disagreed. So maybe those guys also didn't wash their asses. Okay, number 14. Being friends with other guys for decades and never talking about their feelings. Oh, ever, unless you're hammered. Are you guys not interested in what your friends think or feel outside of shared activities like video games or sports? And then there's a response that says, not really. I have a hard enough time with my problems that hearing my friends is not something I'm interested in. I hang out with friends to forget my problems. Drinking, barbecue, fishing, watching the fights, alpha, etc. The last thing I want to hear is about your nana being sick. See, that's why the world is the way it is. Not for everybody, obviously, but I talk about my feelings. Obviously, read the room. You don't want to do it all the time or if you're just out having fun. But if you're having a bros night and you guys are getting together to talk about things, I like talking about, things, politics, your feelings, how relationships are going, how things aren't going well or whatever, and to help each other out. I think I don't do therapy because I can't afford it, but my therapy is when I talk to my wife about my feelings, when I talk to my friends about my feelings, when I talk to my sister or my brother or whoever. Yeah, societally, we just need to get over this whole, we can't talk about feeling stuff. Because, yeah, the drinking, the barbecuing, the fishing, the watching the fights, all that's good and fun. Watching sports. I love watching basketball. I love watching motorcycle races. I like going out and having a drink at the bar. But it's all surface stuff if you can't really get to know each other when you discuss your feelings or whatever. I think it's important to build a community of people that you can trust, that you can share your feelings with and vent to or problem solve with. Otherwise, you're just bottling it up and you're going to go insane. So share your feelings, people. It's okay. It also won't make you gay. All right, number 15. And lastly, the obsession with grass and lawns. Life is too short for that bullshit. As a kid, I used to get super excited about cutting the grass because I thought it was really cool. But now that I'm older, I'm not obsessed with that stuff. My wife and I live in a condo and we pay HOA so that I don't have to deal with that kind of shit. And I don't have to own that kind of manly equipment. It's cool if you enjoy it, but if you're obsessed with it, I don't know. Maybe you go share your feelings or something, or cut the grass, sit down, have a picnic with your boys, and share some feelings. But otherwise, that I don't get. I'm not obsessed with grass and lawns. All right, that's it for that. Extra. I still got to come up with a better name. Okay, so hopefully this will be the final time we speak of one Valentina Gomez. That's the woman from Missouri who was running for Secretary of State. She lost. She didn't even come up in the top 5. And this was her parting message. She said that if you don't like her, then you're an F slur. No, I don't like you because you're a shitty human being. Good riddance. Extra shitty person. And then J.D. Vance, a.k.a. Vladimir Futon. I didn't come up with that. I think I got that from maybe the ladies on I've Had It podcast. Vice presidential nominee to Donald Trump. Supposed alpha male. Speaking of alpha males, who's really a beta male, made news this week because pictures of him have resurfaced dressed in drag back when he was attending Harvard. Did he go to Harvard or Yale? One of those. Nothing wrong with him dressing up in drag for Halloween, dressing up in a wig and a dress and a skirt. But when you're a homophobe and a transphobe and a drag queen hater and talk about family values and how you're super Christian, but then you go around dressing up like a woman and it's okay for you to do it, or when your friends do it, bro, that makes you extra, extra shitty. Just leave people alone. Stop being weird, JD Vance. All right. Thank you for watching till the end. If this is your first episode ever, there will be a link or whatever to our very first episode somewhere over here. You should watch it. Hit subscribe down below on YouTube. It's free to you, but will help us out a lot. If you're listening, please download the episode, subscribe to the podcast, and give us a 5-star rating on whatever podcast app you are listening to us on. Follow Straight Guy Queer Eye on Instagram at SGQE Podcast. You can follow me on my personal Instagram at Hello Paul Yen. I'd love to hear from you, so please leave comments, suggestions, and feedback down below. And remember, be human, be kind.